Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Girl, What You Doing? What am I doing, you ask? Oh my gosh, thank you so much for asking. I'm graduating in, what's today? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Meaning I graduate in 5 days. Thank you. Round of applause to me. I turned in my last assignment yesterday, so it's honestly been a huge relief. If you know, you know. I've been checked out with school and everything else for a while now. So the fact that it's actually over, just really warms my heart. But today we're going to be talking about my college experience, what I learned, what they don't tell you, and what's next. So let's get into it. Okay, for starters, what do I rate my college experience on a scale of 1 to 10? On a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, I think I would give my college experience about a 7. It is what you make it. I did make a lot out of it. Probably could have made more. Didn't care to after a while. I was just ready to go. But my first 3 years of college, I was very involved. I participated in a lot of organizations. My junior year, I became the president of the National Association of Black Journalists. I was also the vice president of the Journalism Student Council at my school, and I attend the #1 journalism school in the world, I would say. So clap it up for me. So yeah, I also had a radio show my junior and senior year. It's called Jada's Jams. It was once a week for an hour long. My senior year, it was 2 hours. I usually would do like an hour and a half, just because honestly 2 hours is a really long time, but I would usually do about an hour and a half. But she also had a radio show called Jada's Jams. So for most of the time here, I was pretty involved. Now, my senior year, I kind of dropped everything. And what I mean by that is I participated in as little as possible. Honestly, the only on-campus, organization I did participate in was my radio show, because I just wanted to take my senior year to cater to myself. I feel like I spent my first 3 years of college catering to all the organizations that I was a part of. So I never really took the time to do things I've always wanted to do. So my senior year, I pretty much dropped most of the organizations I was in and just did everything I've always wanted to do. For example, I started my podcast. Huge. I studied abroad. I've always wanted to study abroad. It was my first time out the country. I went to Costa Rica to do sea turtle conservation. And if you know me, you know that I love turtles. I actually have a turtle at home. His name is Leo because I'm a Leo. And Leonardo the Ninja Turtle, duh, of course, perfect name. So yeah, I have a turtle at home named Leo. So I just love turtles. I love animals. I love nature. So in January, I was in Costa Rica for 2 weeks studying abroad, doing sea turtle conservation, and in the least dramatic way possible. It was truly the most amazing, eye-opening, and almost life-changing experience. And there was a lot of amazing things while I was there. But one thing that really stuck with me, and I'm going to get past the study abroad stuff in a second, because that's not what this is about. But one of the parts that really amazed me was we literally got the opportunity to watch a nest of sea turtles hatch from start to finish. Then after they hatched, we set them off into the ocean. And it was nighttime, so it was just a really cool vibe. And if you know, sea turtle nests are under the ground. They're in the sand. So we literally watched the air bubbles form on the surface of the sand. We were like, what's going on here? They started to hatch under the sand and they all crawled out. Oh my gosh. It was literally amazing. Just to watch something take its first look at life. It was just so amazing. And then we were able to set them off to the ocean. Like I said, it was nighttime. It was just a great experience. But anyway, because I've taken my senior year to cater to me, I was able to just pursue so many other things that I wasn't able to when I'm kind of giving my all to organization. So I'm really proud of myself for making that decision. And it wasn't easy because I kind of had to walk away from organizations that meant a lot to me, that kind of shaped my first 3 years of college. But again, I feel like my senior year was all about shaping myself. And honestly, I have to prepare myself to be a real adult. I'm a real adult now. I have real adult bills, but I have to be a real adult. So I really just needed to take the time to prepare myself, which I feel like I did. But we're going to get into that next. So going off of that, how prepared do I feel for the real world? You know, how prepared is the real world for me? Let's take it there. But on a serious note, I do think that college prepared me well for the real world. And I think that part of that is because, you know, I attend a journalism school and I'm a journalism major. So my school specifically caters to my major or my profession. So I do feel well prepared in that space. Of course, everyone's experience is different. I also think I prepared myself pretty well. And I will say this, I do not have a job opportunity lined up, not in my profession. I will be going home soon, just temporarily for the summer. I do have a plan, which I won't be sharing yet. I will make an episode when I get there, but I am going to be moving home temporarily. And like I said, I don't have a job opportunity lined up, but I'm not mad at it. I don't think I was meant to get a job opportunity just yet because I think there's some little things I have to do before I'm ready to really step out on my own, which is why I'm going to go home again temporarily. But honestly, I'm not really stressed or mad about the whole job opportunity thing. Whenever I've been sharing with people recently that I don't have something lined up, they kind of seem like I should be feeling like it's the end of the world, like, oh, it's okay, you know, like I'm good. I know. I don't have any problem not getting a big girl job straight out of college. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine. I'm good. You know, if I didn't get it, maybe I'm not ready. And honestly, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. Honestly, I don't ever want to work a 9 to 5. So, you know, if I don't get a job straight out of college, cool. You're giving me more time to set my life up to not even have to work. So I am not mad at it at all. You know, the longer I go without a job, the less I want to get one at all. So, you know, whatever happens, happens. I definitely feel like the person, and I'm sure every single person who's gone to college feels this way. I'm sure this is not a unique experience. But honestly, the person I was when I got here and the person I am now that I'm leaving is two completely different people. And honestly, I think the past 4 years have just contained so much personal growth. Definitely my freshman year, I was very different. And honestly, I was really quiet and really reserved. But all of my experiences, especially the leadership positions that I took part in, helped me grow and be more comfortable just putting myself out there. And that's one of the biggest things that I learned in college is that you just have to put yourself out there no matter what. No matter if it makes you cringe posting stuff or you're like, oh my gosh, people who know me are going to see this. Who cares? You know, it's your life at the end of the day. You have to put yourself out there. So some things that they don't tell you coming into college. I would say one of the biggest things that they don't tell you coming into college that I learned very, very quickly, it's not the work that's hard. It's not, you know, other people. It's class. It's physically getting up and going to class when there's nobody telling you to. When everything, you know, you're responsible for your success when you're in college. It's all on you. So to physically get up and go to class every single day with nobody forcing you to is literally the hardest part. I'm sorry. And I'm speaking for myself. For me, the work wasn't, you know, the hardest part. Of course, sometimes, you know, it can get intense, but it's college. You know what you signed up for. But that getting up and going to class. Another thing that I learned very quickly being here, and this is just me being transparent, okay? Like I said, I was the president of an organization my junior year, and I realized very quickly that being a woman in a leadership position is tough. And like, of course I already knew this. That's just society, it's the world, it's whatever. But I don't think that I realized that even, and not to say my position was small or anything, but you know, it's a college organization. I don't think I realized that even being a woman in a leadership position in college, you would still experience, you know, I don't really know how to explain it. And I wouldn't say like, I wasn't, you know, treated poorly or anything. I honestly had an amazing experience in this position, but I do think that men 1000% get more respect in leadership positions, whether you're out, in the real world, you're in college, high school, whatever it is. And I guess I kind of knew that, but once I obtained the position myself, I was like, oh, some things that I wish I had done differently throughout my college experience. But something I wish I did differently, I wish I would have just ventured out a little bit more and kind of talked to more people, maybe made more connections. I did make a lot of very valuable connections. I have some really cool mentors and friendships in my life that I'll be taking away from college, but I do think I could have done better at just getting to know more people. But again, I'm an introvert and that's just not necessarily me. So yeah, but honestly, I have all my life to meet people and make friends. So am I pursuing further education? No, I'm not. After this bachelor's degree, I can guarantee you I'm not going back to school, ever. People keep saying, oh, you might change your mind down the line. You might want to do this. I'm glad to get my bachelor's degree, and I will be extremely happy to walk the stage. I'm probably going to cry, and, we're just going to leave it at that. I don't need, not to mention, I probably won't even be able to get a FAFSA, after this anyway. So why would I go back to school to put myself in a whole bunch of debt when I can just make money? The bachelor's degree is enough. I will be joining that percentage of Black women with a bachelor's degree. We are the most educated group of people in the country. So I'm glad to be a part of that. Thank you very much. How do I feel about my college decision overall now that it is over? I will start by saying this. Mizzou was my last choice. I don't think I've ever actually verbally said what college I attend on here, but I'm graduating, so it doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, Mizzou was my last choice. And, I'm a journalism major. It's literally the first and best, journalism school and program. So it makes sense, and it's close to home, literally 2 hours away. I can literally drive there whenever I want. Honestly, I was at home a couple of days ago for Mother's Day. So it's close, it's convenient, it has a great program, it's in states, meaning tuition was low, I had a scholarship. So it's crazy, why would Mizzou be your last choice? From that, it sounds like it should have been my first. But honestly, all I've ever wanted was to go away. So my first choice of schools was actually Spelman. I got accepted and all of that. I was really excited. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to move to Atlanta, all of that. But the thing is, with the HBCUs, they didn't want to give me any kind of scholarship, and it was almost $50,000 a year. I want to say the exact number was between $46,000 and $48,000 a year. That's $50,000 a year, and they weren't trying to give me a scholarship. Why would I go to college for 4 years to leave and be $200,000 in debt just to say that I went to Spelman? And that is where I wanted to go, but I don't know, the no scholarship thing was just a big no for me. At the end of the day, I think, and I'm not bashing HBCUs in any way, kudos to everyone who goes to them. I have friends who do, I wanted to go to one, but it's just, if you want your people to pursue a higher education, help them do so. It's the schools are so expensive and don't want to offer any money. It just kind of didn't make that much sense to me, but yeah. And then I had a pretty good ACT score. I got a 26 on the ACT, which was my goal. It's 25 or 26, but either way, it's a pretty good score. And then my GPA was literally a 4.2 because I graduated high school with my associate's degree, so all of my classes counted for more points than they would have in high school. So I graduated with a 4.2 GPA. That's above perfect and still no scholarship. So yeah, but I'm saying all that to say I am very satisfied with my decision to go to Mizzou. I think it was the right choice, the perfect choice. I feel like I can't really imagine myself going anywhere else. I'm sure that, I probably could have had a nice experience at other schools, but when it comes to the opportunities that Mizzou provides, especially for Black students, I honestly think that I got the most out of my experience going here. Even if, it is a PWI, there is history. If there is history, but I do think that I picked the right school to go to. I'm very satisfied with my decision, and I would not have wanted to go anywhere else. I am glad the 4 years are over, but you know, I do think I made the right choice. The connections and mentors and opportunities I've gotten here are literally endless. So, yeah. But because I didn't go away for college, believe I will be going away for life. Okay, like I said, I'll be at home temporarily, but I'm leaving. All right, believe that. My favorite thing about Mizzou, I honestly think my favorite thing about Mizzou is the campus. It's literally so collegey. Like when you imagine college in your head or you see a college on TV, you know how it just looks so like collegey. That's literally what Mizzou looks and feels like, and I love that. If you don't know, it's a really big school. I think there's like over 30,000 students, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that, which is a lot. So yeah, it's a pretty big school. It's so freaking pretty. Like walking around campus is just so satisfying. There's so many trees and plants, and it's actually considered a botanical garden. And for an institution to be considered a botanical garden, they have to have like a certain amount of plant species, of course. And it's actually considered a botanical garden. So that just goes to say, you know, how many different plants and flowers and stuff are everywhere, and it's so pretty, especially you know around this time in the spring while the flowers are blooming. Like it's just so satisfying. So hands down, I do think my favorite thing about Mizzou is the campus, and of course the journalism program. What? Of course. So yeah, that too. One piece of advice I would give to anyone going to college. One piece of advice I would give to anyone is simply don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like I mentioned earlier, it can be scary. You might be an introvert like myself. Connections are literally everything. If you don't do anything within your college experience, make as many connections as possible, because like people say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that is 100% fact. If you know the right person, that's honestly all you need. So talk to as many people as possible, network as much as possible. Please utilize LinkedIn. Oh my God, I cannot emphasize LinkedIn enough. It's literally how I got some amazing opportunities. If you saw recently, it was posted on my page. I was in Atlanta back in March to do interviews at a red carpet movie premiere. And if you know, my dream job was to be a red carpet interviewer, and I was able to do that during spring break of my senior year because I found a job on LinkedIn. I applied, I messaged the job poster, and I got it. So making those connections and utilizing LinkedIn is literally going to be your best friend. So be sure to do that. And if you need help on how to navigate and use and post on LinkedIn, send me a message. I'll let you connect with me and we can go through it, because I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like another social media for me. I'll sit on there and scroll and see what everybody's doing. So if you need some help, let me know. Message me at girlwhatchoudoing pod on Instagram. Thanks. So that concludes the end of this episode. Short but sweet, more to come. Interviews to come as well. Stay tuned. I'm going to close out with a quote that I used my sophomore year for a presentation. But the quote was, if you don't show up for yourself today, who's going to show up for you tomorrow? As always, thank you super much for watching. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Girl What You Doing. You can expect another one next month. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Girl What You Doing Pod. And stay tuned for the next episode, and I will see you later. If you enjoyed this episode of Girl What You Doing, I'm sure you'll love similar content in the Live Podcast Network app. Plus, you can support this podcast and enjoy ad-free listening to nearly 100 other Black hosted podcasts.